Hello, everyone, and welcome to the October 12th SIG ContribEx regular meeting. As a general reminder, these meetings are recorded and will be posted to the internet sometime later, and we abide by the SIG Code of Conduct, which essentially boils down to please be excellent to each other. With that, we can kick right off into our list of things, fun stuff with events and community meeting, which...
No updates.
Yeah, it's not happening this month. And I think it actually clashes with Thanksgiving next month.
It does?
Does it?
Nice. Wait, no, because it's third Thursday. It's always
Yeah, I think
that's right.
Thanksgiving is the fourth.
Yeah, fourth
Thursday.
So
Thursday.
I think we're still okay. But
Okay.
Yeah.
we'll see what that turns into next
Well,
week. But yeah, no updates.
Yeah, I mean, my suggestion would be we have the label now. So right after KubeCon, we should go on a campaign to try to get people to use the label.
Yeah, I need to do a blog post with the marketing communications team.
Yeah.
My hope is that once all the chaos is over around
Yeah.
KubeCon and other things, I
Yeah.
will have time to work on it.
And if I could offer another suggestion, find a volunteer, ideally not me, although I could do it if you can't find somebody else, to do a summary, possibly actually more than one volunteer, honestly, because nobody can attend everything, to do a summary of stuff, particularly decisions that were made at the Contributor Summit.
For November's meeting.
So spend 15 minutes on a Contributor Summit summary.
Yeah, summit recap.
Makes
Recap.
sense.
The
Okay.
and that already gives you an anchor thing for the November community meeting.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you for that. Yeah. I will see. I'm supposed to be there at the Contributor Summit this year for once. So hopefully I'll drag you and a bunch of people into doing that.
Other recommendation, like if you need hosts, we have this nice collection of SIG ContribEx lead shadows. That would be good to potentially volunteer for that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Voluntold or volunteer?
Yeah, right.
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
Yeah, although probably not for Priyanka.
No.
Given the time zone.
Same thing with Nabrun.
Yeah, Nabrun, right.
It's okay. Yeah, we'll
we still have many other people.
Yes.
We can kind of put that out there. I will, once I get my act together after stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
After
We'll
KubeCon.
Yep.
To me right now, there's either things that are before KubeCon or after KubeCon.
Yeah.
that's how things
there's
are.
Blur of time and then the rest of time.
Yes.
Fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, so.
Okay. I guess the next big thing is, anyone have any questions, comments regarding community meeting? Okay, then the summit, it is happening. I can link the notes and all that. If you're good, I think everyone on this call, well, no, not everyone on this call, I'm sorry. Most of the people are also involved in the planning meeting, and things are chugging along. I will hopefully see most of you next week, or not next week, 2 weeks. It feels like next week. Any other event stuff to cover at this point in time? Okay, we'll kick it over to mentoring. I think there's nothing there at this point in time. I think we're just going to definitely retire, meet our contributors, and some of the other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, what I was thinking for meet our contributors, and I'm not ready to kick it off yet, but we have some potentials and that sort of thing, is to actually move to more or less the same thing that APAC is doing, which is doing meet our contributors as blog posts. Because we've actually had a couple of people offering sort of my contribution experiences blog posts.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that would be a lot easier for us to maintain. And, particularly, the last few Meet Our Contributor sessions in the, beginning of COVID and stuff were not particularly well attended. So not that I wouldn't like to have the video stuff again, but the video stuff is a huge effort.
Yes.
Whereas doing a sort of stream of blog posts of Meet a Contributor, combine that both with people just voluntarily submitting stuff about their own contributor experience, which we've gotten a few of, together with, hey, let's contact a Kubernetes maintainer every month and do a blog post around them and their thoughts on contribution and advice and everything else. Is, I think, an effort that we're a lot more prepared to sustain, and it would still help people.
Mm-hmm.
I think if we're going to put more effort into mentoring stuff in the future, that we need to be more focused on group mentoring in the one-on-one hour. That's been those have been to-dos that have been kicked around for a while. One of the obstacles there is tooling. But it's honestly not primarily tooling, it's primarily round twits.
I in general wouldn't even bother with the whole one-on-one hour thing. It's just too much when it comes to like de-risking mentor time. People have been a lot more okay with engaging in a group thing, because if say even if you lose 5 people out of a group of 8, that's still 3 people coming up.
Yeah, well, part of the idea of the one-on-one hour is that it's limited to an hour. Part of it obviously would depend on how SIG leads and other mentors feel about it. Because often the purpose of the one-on-one hour was more about, hey, I'm working on my first major PR for this and such a SIG, and I'm stuck. And maybe the answer for the one-on-one hour is that we need to provide some screening to make sure that there's content for that hour. That it's not a, hey, I want to ask very general questions about contributing, but more, hey, I'm working on adding, this particular plugin functionality to CNI, and I'm not really sure where to put the code. So
and that is a lot more useful than what the previous idea behind it was.
Yeah. Okay. It's all for mentoring.
Okay. Any questions, comments for mentoring at this point in time? Okay. Well,
there is actually, one bit down at the bottom, because we have a group mentoring session going at KubeCon. Wendy had sent out email regarding that to some people, but it's a BCC, so I don't know who it got sent to and what lists it got sent to. If you are interested, I threw the link at the bottom of this week's notes.
Yeah. Keep in mind, it's a speed mentoring session for all of CNCF. Oh, wait, no? Are you part of a SIG? Okay. It's a speed mentoring session for all of CNCF rather than Kubernetes specifically, but I'm willing to bet that a lot of the mentees will be asking about Kubernetes.
And it breaks up into community, career, and technical tracks. So lots of people can get involved in lots of different ways.
Has Wendy authorized us sharing that with KubeDev?
I sent it to the leads list.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. I mean, but I don't see any reason why we wouldn't share it with all of KDev.
I will ask her first.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Cool. Thank you. Now we'll pop over to community management with Nigel. You got an update?
Yes, I have updates. Let's talk about our YouTube and automation. So where we last left our journey, we were trying to get the Zapier to do the automation for us. So the solution that we came up with was that we would have a Zap that would take a cloud recording and send it to a Google Drive folder, and then another Zap that would take that Google Drive link to YouTube. And the reason it's split up into two Zaps is because when you're on the free tier in Zapier, you can't have multi-step Zaps. You can only have it do a single thing. The upside of having two Zaps as well is, like, let's say that there is some issue with like a video not showing up or somebody recorded to their computer, you could still take that video, drag and drop it into the Google Drive, and then it would go to YouTube from there. So where things stand right now, I cannot share my screen.
Do you want me to?
We could change it.
Yeah. I'll just make you co-host. I'll make it easy.
Thank you. All right. Sharing my screen. If you see here on, oops, go away filter. So this last test that I did this morning, I was able to get a video that I recorded in our Zoom. So I have like a separate account that this Zap is turned on for. And it goes up to Google Drive. And then from the Google Drive, it gets added to our YouTube. So the automation is working and the name does go along with it. So yeah, that's the major update is that.
For the name, does it pick it up off the Zoom meeting name?
Yeah, off of the topic for the Zoom meeting, that's what we have it picking up on. So
okay,
to get from, let's go to that Zap.
Can it also like append the date?
Let's see. I don't think I can do it from what we have now. So if we set up the action, that's where it goes. So the file name, I don't know if we can add a second thing to it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it looks like there's space. Yeah. So let's start time. I don't see the date.
And theoretically, start time should be.
We'll have a date in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can just add the, yeah, okay. So if I do that, then we should be able to, yeah, it'll show the name and then the date.
And honestly, if our URLs are a little bit, or if the file names or YouTube video names are a little wonky, but they convey everything we need to convey and it works, that's still a lot easier for everyone else out there.
Yeah, and the reality is we still have to go in to make them go live. Or actually, that's not true. I could set it to where it goes live immediately. I don't know if we want that. But that's an option.
Yeah, I think we're eventually going to want that. But I'd like to, run it for a couple of weeks and look at the results before we make it go live automatically.
Yeah.
Can we also add stuff to like explicit playlists?
No, we cannot. And that's a feature that has been requested from them, but they don't support that right now.
Okay. So still have to be that manual step of adding videos to playlists.
Yeah. But I don't know if we want it like an automated thing that's like sending out stuff to go public in case there are bad actors, right?
Oh, I mean, somebody who jumped on a channel, put together a political video and
Well,
Your brain is way tamer than mine. Yes,
Yeah.
it's a political video that they put on there, and then
theoretically, it should only be the SIG leads and the people that they've shared the host key with that can potentially record to the cloud. So that, like, by default, we do not enable automatic recording. So
yeah.
that, so in terms of like people uploading bad content, they would still have to either be a SIG lead or compromise the account, or somehow get a hold of the host key that has been shared with,
But that's only if they go through the whole pipeline. If we have the Google Drive folder, like people can drop videos into it, then they still go.
Yeah. We can lock that down.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, where we're at right now, is that we can turn this on for another Zoom account. Let's say the SIG ContribEx one, and then watch the pipeline go and see how we feel about that. But yeah, that's kind of like, because right now it's in my little test, and the test videos that I made are like less than 30 seconds, and I didn't have my video on. So like, who knows what starts to come out once we're trying to run this, like, for real.
Yeah, and that was why I said that we don't want it to go live automatically when we're first trying it out.
Yeah.
And the fact that ultimately we do need a human to still go through and edit the description and add it to a playlist. Marking it also to go live is not that much effort. Additional effort. So I would say for the first run of this, it shouldn't go live automatically. And then we might consider making it go live automatically. We will undoubtedly consider having it go live automatically later.
Yeah. And at right now, the way that it's going, like, Splain is still on, right? Like, so like, we'll still have like have that as like, I don't know, primary or backup. Oh, also, let's talk about limitations. Because so basically this is like a Zapier account that I set up, like, and we have 2 things on it right now. And the way it works is we can make 5 zaps and like have 100 actions run per month for free. So if we get to the point where we're like generating more of the RSS stuff plus the video that's over 100.
I'm not concerned with getting funding for a paid account.
Okay. All right. I'm not used to working with people that want to do pay for stuff. Like, let's use trials.
If G Frontline, like, CNCF will handle this.
Yeah. Okay. But first let's make sure that this actually works.
Yeah.
We'll just be prepared to get a paid account. Honestly, if it does work, we're going to exceed those 100 actions in very short order. So if it does work, we'll ask for a paid account. So we might actually want to pre-authorize getting a paid account with steering, etc., so that we can just flip the switch if it works.
And my question as well is, if we go to paid, do we want to consolidate this into a single zap where the whole thing happens smoothly? Because I think that we could copy over the description as well into YouTube from Zoom if it weren't like 2 separate zaps, because the first zap deals with Zoom and the second one does not. The second one only deals with what we can pull from the Google Drive, which is just the title that came over, right?
So, quick little update. The CNCF already authorizes projects to use Zapier. Like, they can like they listed on their things that we can basically just request of them.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
So that should not be a blocker. Like there shouldn't be a funding request or anything like that.
Cool.
Okay.
It would just be a service desk ticket.
I can do that now as you're looking at me too.
It has to come from one of the like
Oh,
Kubernetes.
it does.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Sorry.
Yeah, but like I said, let's wait on it to find out that there isn't something that makes this unusably broken when we actually try it.
Yeah.
So which account do you want to turn it on for? Like SIG ContribEx next meeting is what, the thing on Friday? Yeah. So
we can turn it on for ContribEx. It's a nice test because we have the current automation set up with the ContribEx one. So like that'll tell us if there's any real diffs between the two.
Yeah. What I had noticed so far is that it takes a lot longer for the video to go from Drive to YouTube than I would have expected. Like it shows up in Drive fairly quickly after the recording happens, and it takes a minute before it starts uploading into YouTube, which not that big of a deal.
So that's just the batch jobs, like working their thing. Like I've seen that with my use of Zapier, right? Like one Zap fires for an identical thing on another network. Yeah.
Yep.
Keep in mind what we're trying to get away from is days of delay if people are not, if no human being is paying attention.
Not just days, weeks and months.
Weeks and months sometimes.
So
or never at all.
The fact that it takes an hour is a huge improvement.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So
a lot of the SIG leads will literally just batch it like the end of the quarter.
Yep.
All right. So I will turn it on for SIG ContribEx, and we'll see what happens after the Friday morning meeting. And then I guess y'all are gonna handle the funding stuff. And I right now we're not even close, with all of my, let me look, just like make sure I'm not lying.
Riddle me this, Nigel. If you had funding now, could you put together like a full chain in one Zap?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So we should probably just go ahead and do that, knowing how Zapier works. Like that's going to be way easier, right?
But
like even if you say, go ahead and turn this off in 5 minutes after trying it, it doesn't work or something. I think that's okay. Right, Bob?
Right. But the trade-off of having them separate, right, is that if a video for some reason doesn't go, or we need to just upload something to YouTube, we can just drag and drop into the Google Drive folder and it gets picked up. Whereas if it's just a part of a multi-step Zap, I don't know if that is also.
I'm not
two
overly.
Zaps.
I'm honestly not overly concerned about that. Just because like it's us uploading content outside of the normal meetings would be a fairly rare occurrence, and we can just upload to YouTube directly.
Okay. Yeah. So then the single Zap is the way that y'all want to move.
I think that's the smartest way since you can get all the metadata. Right.
That is a guess. I don't know that for sure. That is a speculation.
We can find out.
Yeah, like let's just get you a paid account so you can actually work with the full tool and not some limited version of it, right?
Yeah.
Because at that point, if you have a full account, you can do as many Zaps as you want, and there could be a separate.
Yeah, don't engineer this in order to minimize
folder
Zaps.
for auto run by an
As far as we know, the CNCF has an enterprise Zapier account that includes unlimited Zaps.
Yeah.
So engineer it the way that technically works the best.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Bingo.
Yep.
That's all I have.
Thank you. Honestly, if this solves the YouTube to Zoom problem, like that's a thing that has been a problem for many years. And honestly, a lot of other CNCF projects and probably like the CNCF itself will want to.
Yeah, I was going to say, if we get this working, we'll want you to do a CNCF blog about how you got this to work, etc. And probably just share it with CNCF staff, right? Because they'll just want to set it up for projects. So
yeah. And honestly, like now after having banged my head against it a bunch, it's relatively simple to set up. But yeah, I'd be happy to do, to write down the steps to help people do it quicker than it took me to do it.
Okay. Any other community management topics? Okay, then pop over to marketing. Has anyone here got a recent update on the marketing side or contributor comms?
I was not in the meeting last week. Sorry, I was out.
No worries.
As far as I know, comms is all about KubeCon currently.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we're cranking out tweets and stuff for KubeCon or prepping that social media blitz.
Yep.
I mean, I need to go in and talk about Kubernetes contributor survey, but
Ooh,
we
yeah.
won't realistically be doing that until January. So
Okay.
That's another post KubeCon activity, but we haven't done one in a couple of years. And we need to do a better one if we're going to do one. So, and it seems like exactly the kind of thing I could take on after I step down from being chair. So the
okay. Any other contributor comms related items? Then we can pop over to docs. Noah, you have a note on here regarding the guide? Oh, he is frozen on my screen.
Same.
Okay, well, we can come back. I will say that the contributor course is chugging along quite well. Craig has also been in some of the group DMs going over some of this stuff. As far like the content itself, I would say is nearing completion. It's just the actual production of like I should say the script and how the pacing and all that is done, or close to being done. It's just the actual merging of it all into the contributor site. They do have a library that looks like it will work quite well for this purpose. I'm trying to remember what the name of it. It's somewhere in one of my DMs.
Story of my life.
Yep. But that is that for now. If Noah comes back, we will pop back to him. I do not have any updates regarding GitHub management.
wait, so contributor guide. The original goal was to publish something before KubeCon.
The course?
Yeah.
It's not going, like, I'd say it's not going to hit that target. It should be shortly after KubeCon, though.
Are we making an announcement or anything? Is that what you're worried about, Josh?
No, I just wanted to know where we were.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Popping over to open mic. The only thing on here was the thing that we discussed earlier. Does anyone else have any other open mic items they would like to talk about?
I guess the one thing I would want to talk about is for the course. I'm I'm actually working on section 5, which is the live demo, and it uses Minikube and code spaces. The one thing that would be ideal is to also have some, like, it doesn't actually require like this, but it would be nice to have some configurations in Kubernetes repo in the /GitHub directory. There's a file that would be added called devcontainer.json that ensures that all the requirements for running it are met. And this is for this reason, that we have a default experience in code spaces that includes Go and all the build kit tools, all the stuff that's needed actually to do it. But this would make sure that if we make any changes in our default experience, we wouldn't accidentally break the Kubernetes experience. So it essentially ensure pinning to specific versions.
I'm all for that, because we pin specific versions of Go anyway. Right. And if possible, like instead of Minikube, can we use Kind?
Absolutely.
Kind would be much better. Yeah.
Okay. I was essentially trying to change as little as possible. And I can absolutely switch from Minikube to Kind if that's what the community prefers.
At this point, that's what all our CI is tested in. We are
almost.
Yeah,
okay.
we are.
I'll just do some refactoring tomorrow then to do that. I've got the content pretty much ready using Minikube, but I'll switch to Kind, and that might mean I'll share a draft on Friday instead of tomorrow.
Cool.
And then I'll create an issue in KK, tag, I guess you, Bob, as a reviewer, and then I'll make a PR for that issue.
Cool.
We have multiple Noahs now. One is connecting to audio.
I bet he's the only one who can hear us.
Give it another.
And he's gone.
We'll give it like another few seconds.
So what's everybody's KubeCon looking like?
Busy?
Yeah, no kidding.
Like I'm trying to prepare for my user conference at exactly the same time.
Oof, rough. Well, I have to prepare for reInvent as I'm doing KubeCon, so yeah.
Yeah, we're in exactly the same boat, except reInvent's much bigger.
Well, my part's not much bigger. Like I would do more at KubeCon than reInvent, to be honest.
I'm at least going to go ahead and stop the recording.
Thank you.
Thank you.